Elite professionals are not just skilled, they are mentally structured. They lead from within before leading in front. Depending on when and where you are watching from, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. You're welcome to Professionals Daily Devotion with Olasukami Okweifa, where we inspire you to be more. This morning, we are looking at the mindset of the elite professionals under the new blueprint of professional success. Okay, and this is not actually new. This is what I'm going to be sharing today is an age-long philosophy or principle of success. Now, who are elite professionals? Okay, they are different kinds of people. They are like the top 1% people in a field, in any field of endeavor, business, teaching, tech, leadership, real estate. They just stand out there as just top 1%. They are the reference point all the time. When you say you want to be something, they are the ones people mention in that field. So let's just dig deep into it, and you also picture yourself that how do I become one of them? I mean, I remember jumping in when I started education. I always, one dream I have is if you are to mention 10 educators in Nigeria, if you are to mention 10 educators in the world, I will be one of them. And I work towards this. So when I started preparing for this yesterday, this morning, I read stories of people there, I put them together, analyzed them, and I brought out this principle, their framework, mind. I realized that yes, if you are consistent with this kind of lifestyle, it's a matter of time. You will find yourself standing on top. You see, don't worry about the competition you are seeing around you now. Most of the time, you see everybody doing the same thing that you are doing. Hey, everybody's rushing into that kind of thing. You see, yeah, it's always like that. When you throw something else, idea is always volatile, and everybody is doing the same thing. Don't worry, just be consistent with your principles there. I mean, follow the principle we want to share today. You will realize that it's a matter of time. Not everybody can keep up with that strength. They start dropping off. I mean, I analyze it for someone that all these guys that are jumping into this and that. I said, see, it's a matter of time they are young guys. Marriage will sweep some of them away. Japa syndrome will sweep some of them away. Poverty will sweep some of them away. Distraction will sweep some of them away. It's only those ones that are consistent, okay, and are resilient that will stand on top. And then in 5 years, we'll make reference to them, and it's even faster now than 5 years. So let's look at excellence is never accidental. When you observe elite professionals, whether in business, teaching, tech, or leadership, what stands out about them is not the skill or not the speed, it is how they think. See, what separates an average performer from elite professional is not also access, it is mental architecture. They don't panic when things go wrong. They don't need little title for them to show up as leaders. They lead. They are not driven by who is clapping for them or giving them the big applause. They are driven by principles. Early professionals begin in the mind. Okay, their performance rather begin in the mind, and then long it remains in the mind and it remains long before they even come to the stage. They see, they picture themselves there. So let's see what research says quickly. Harvard Business Review says that elite performance consistently show patterns of internal clarity, emotional discipline, and long range thinking. Three things: internal clarity, they know what they want, where they are going, and they keep on going there. Emotional discipline and long range thinking. I don't want to jump the script. Something just came to my mind to say, but I would get there down here now. So, an author of the word book, Grit, Angela Duckworth, says that success is more correlated with mental resilience and consistency than natural talent and charisma. And then Justin Maxwell said, charisma will take you to the top. Only character will sustain you there. And finally, top professionals spend more time building routines that support thinking, focus, and self control that will give them strategic stamina. So, talent is not enough. There is something that you need to do, and that is all about in your mind. Let's look at the story of Kobe Bryant, the wonderful basketball guy that won a lot. So, Kobe didn't become great by talent alone. So many of them were talented on the pitch. He was known to start workout by 4 a.m. before other players are awake. And I think I had the same story about Ronaldo too. He believed in controlling the mental game by building non-negotiable discipline and mental clarity that outclass emotions, fatigue, and applause. And that's not just effort, because it is what we call elite mindset engineering, where you want to observe the trend of things and then you go in that line. I pray for strength in things like this more, where you understand the direction of things. Let me share a personal story quickly here. When in 2016 I applied for Martina Teacher of the Year, and I told my story, and I didn't even hear anything. I've told the story several times. I thought I applied and I didn't hear anything whether I won or anything. It actually obviously meant that I didn't qualify. Then, I didn't jump back to it in 2017 like every other person. No, I took my time. I read the questions again. Then I said, okay, that means this is the direction of 21st century teaching. Then I implemented those things in the question that were expected of me. I started doing them so that I have better story to tell. I knew the direction the thing was going. Sincerely, I never knew that what I did would take me to become the best in the country, but I put myself in that direction. By the time I applied, I was one of the top 11 in the whole country. And I still went again. I read from one of the top educators in the world then, John Dewey. I read a lot about his book, School and Democracy, Education and Democracy, or something like that, school system and the rest. And when I was faced by experts, professionals from different fields, asking questions in education, I knew when I walked out that I think I will be among the top three. Even a friend of mine, Malale Adeko, told me this things that, yeah, you're going to be among the top three. And that's it. And that's those same principles. So I'm going to be sharing that principle quickly in the next 3 minutes here now. The first one is okay, we're using the framework MIND, right? MIND. The first one is mental ownership. Elite professionals don't say it is not my job. They lead without title, fix without being asked, and own without excuse. See, this is real. You join the job and they say you are not, you feel you are being used. And Kojo Imade once said that it's because you are useful, that is why you are being used. There will always be a time. I used to have a neighbor, an elderly man, not so elderly, but a man older than me. He will say, see, there will always be a time when you will be used. So at that time when you are being used, when your talent is being used, okay, relax. Let them use you. You are getting experience. You are learning. You are building system within you. You are building a structure that is unbeatable because you are doing it not under any pressure. Because you see, as a civil servant, I work with several principals. There was particular two principals that I worked with. One actually almost frustrated me, but I always go home and cry and come back again. Another one, after the frustration, I worked fantastically under her. I took almost all leadership roles without title. I worked with all the principals and the rest of them. A time came in my life that I was interviewed for a leadership role, and I couldn't talk about theories of leadership because of course, I didn't read any book about. But I could give examples of how I had led in different positions, but without title, without the positions, and I got the job among the top managers in the school. So the same thing too. At the beginning, have this mental ownership anywhere you step into. Say, I once said it here too that something happened in the school where I was teaching. As soon as I left university, I found myself in that school, and something happened, and then my father had to call one of the teachers. Said, "Okay, this is what they said. Sukomi did. Is it true?" And then the man said, "It's a lie." That Sukomi owned the school, or those who know that's my name, took the school as if it was his father's school. And for the first time, I could see pride in my father's face. That the way I worked in the school, I worked as if it was my father's school. I mean, it's a pity that I had that the school has been sold now. I had that during the week, but it's fine. The bar has not the story now. The sense of ownership must be there. You will see in the next 5 years the difference between you and those who do not do that. I rush through the rest now quickly. They are intentional with execution. Okay, they are intentional with execution. They do their task very well, and they do it with sense of clarity, structure, and purpose. They are the one you will give question to write, and then they are the one that will first of all type it before the school even will tell you that go and type your question. They are the one you will see give something to do, and they do it with a sense of perfection and package it again for you. And they are non-emotionally disciplined. They are disciplined, they deliver on task. I used to have a protege. Anytime I ask her, meet me in the next 5 minutes, you will see Precious running from wherever, and then almost 5 minutes she will be. Today now she's working for an international organization, doing fantastically well. The day she told me how much she's earning, I said, whoa, even your mentor never earned this when he started a job. Okay, so they are disciplined. They don't wait for motivation. They show up on the principle, not feelings. They are consistent. And then finally, they are what they call delayed gratification mind. They are not addicted to likes, attention, and fast results. They know how to build slowly, eyes on the goal, and at the same time they grow deeply. So sorry, I need to rush because I have to tell a lot of interesting stories in between. But let's take our words of affirmation because I don't want to go beyond 10 minutes here and I have 30 seconds or less. I build like a master. I think like a leader. I act with intention. My success begins in my mind and flows in my impact. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at personal capital, how to invest in personal capital. See you and remain successful.